What up, chat? It's your boy Power XL Official, and we're back again. Let's get it, boy. You know how we do. Shit. Alright, guys. What's going on today? We're going to get into some of videos with Asmongold. Let's just start out with something here. We got a bunch of shit we got to catch up on, but not too much, let's be honest.
Professional victim
fatigue, bro. You know this is gonna go hard.
So many people are tired of this.
I just wish there was something I could do for you all, like improve public safety for disabled folks every day. You know?
Hands over a mask.
No, thank you. Anyways.
For those of you who are confused, no, this masking video is not from 2020. It was released recently, like a month ago, and you have someone who is still saying that everyone has to wear a mask for COVID. Because if you
oh my God.
don't, then you're a bad person who deserves to be shamed for wanting to live your life normally. This person actually does a lot of masking propaganda, so let's see why.
Why do you talk about masks all the time? Because the pandemic never ended. The government just...
What?
At what point are these people not the same as doomsday preppers?
Right.
Like, I mean, it's basically the same thing, isn't it?
You're stuck in doomsday your entire life.
Normally sacrificing our most vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird how they were able to drop the emergency status and everything.
Except doomsday might actually happen.
Like
you know, I mean, doomsday could happen one day, but we're not living in the pandemic, dude. We're not still in the pandemic. Y'all need to chill on that.
The risk of dying from COVID was heavily exaggerated and manufactured by horrendous policy decisions and the censorship of doctors with effective treatments. So this person who, by the way, works from home and doesn't have to deal with masking for an 8-hour shift is suggesting that we go back to some of the lockdown policies of a couple of years.
I see. So they're trying to make rules for everybody else, even though they never even go, I see. I get it.
Yep. Makes sense.
That crashed the economy, threw a bunch of people into poverty, and damaged everyone's mental health. All for a disease that's basically killing nobody these days. At some point, you have to do a cost versus benefits analysis. And if you get the short end of the stick on that, then you do what you can to protect yourself. But this whole masking 5 years after the lockdown started is not an uncommon belief.
It's very clearly a mental illness. I mean,
let's just say what it is.
Like hypochondria, right? People that are afraid of anything bad medically. Like there are like people that are germophobic. Like, I mean, it should be treated the exact same way. And like, there's a part of me that feels sorry for a person like that because it's very clearly a mental problem that they have.
Actually, I've seen a lot of people promoting
masks in the car. That's right.
If you guys aren't masking, I'm not going to be around you.
You should go out more.
Now, I don't want to say what they all have in common, but one thing they all have in common is they're all wearing nose rings. Isn't that crazy?
True.
It's like every single one. Holy shit. What are the odds?
It better be free. If I'm going out, it has to be free. And there needs to be barely anyone in sight.
Really?
Because, COVID and people aren't masking.
For context, both of those videos...
One of the ways that she could decrease the risk of COVID to herself is losing weight. A lot of the people that COVID killed were fat.
Bro.
They had comorbidities. Being overweight is a comorbidity.
Were filmed this year. Here's a whole page dedicated to masking propaganda with a comic that says, not masking is eugenics, followed by the caption,
you're participating in eugenics multiple ways. It's not that deep. Move on. That Sydney Sweeney ad was awful. Awful. How do we get here? So...
What?
Wow. Talking about how the creator is mad that normal people on the left don't want to wear a mask every time they go outside.
Yeah.
Are you just going to wear a mask forever? Yeah. I can only imagine the tyranny we would live under if this person got any political power. But more
luckily, they never will.
importantly, everyone is just tired of this type of person constantly
Seriously.
playing victim. And then
Exactly. I think people are generally fatigued with these weird professional victims in every single like space of life. Do you remember like that girl that was complaining about how hard it was to be a woman in Counter-Strike because she got called a stupid bitch because she threw a grenade on the floor and blew herself up? You remember that? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, everybody was
Love
just
it.
shitting on her, and she deserved it.
using that to either tell everybody what
She's
to
still
do
taking
or
heat?
demand.
Shouldn't have been doing it. She's trying to get their accounts banned. She's being an obnoxious Karen. That's what you get. Shouldn't be doing it.
Free shit.
Shouldn't have
We're all
done it.
tired of this, or fatigued, as one might say.
Oh.
Because the ones who play the victim game are always the most sociopathic, self-centered, and awful people.
Absolutely.
So no one's being fooled
Oh,
by this
yeah.
fake compassion anymore.
Well,
Why
I
not
think also that it's why you're just oh god, it's I know this is a fucking millennial. You know this is a fucking oh Jesus. And these are all the original 150 Pokemon. Yeah, they're in their
Oh,
30s,
boy.
man. This is bad.
Disabled people wear masks then. Some disabled
I
and
knew it. I fucking knew it. See, there's a part of me that appreciates this because you ever notice how like animals, whenever they're removed from their natural habitat, they'll try to create a natural habitat in the area that they've been relocated to. And as you can
Right.
see here, we have a very clear mental asylum patient who's tried to recreate the padded room that they should be in their natural habitat in. And I think they've done a pretty good
Yes.
job. They've almost done one entire side of the room.
Compromised people cannot get vaccinated or wear
That's
masks
great.
for medical reasons, which is why it's crucial you should if you can. Where should I mask then? Everywhere? You should mask anywhere you think disabled people deserve to exist in safety. P.S.
Nowhere. Nowhere, obviously.
That's every public
Fuck.
place.
Yes.
For the record,
Outta
this person's
here.
claiming that she's disabled because she's slightly autistic. Now,
I believe her. Yeah, I think she's telling the truth. I think she's, yep.
for
Yeah.
one, never
I
getting
think
sick
she's
is
more
bad
than
for your immune
slightly.
system and makes
She's
you more
mentally
vulnerable.
ill.
Two,
I haven't been sick since 2009. Uh-oh.
being alive
Uh-oh.
always carries risk, and nobody is masking every time they go outside forever. In the extremely small chance they come across
Mm-hmm.
someone who has a compromised immune system and can't mask if they want to. Like, that's such
Yeah.
a rare thing that realistically, I think this person's just overly fearful of catching COVID and is saying, what about these marginalized communities, to pretend that she isn't being selfish?
Yeah,
Because
exactly. Like that's
Yeah.
what they do, and this
That's
is
all
what's
it
also
is.
like. I'm actually really glad he's bringing up this point. This is a great point.
Yeah, everybody else do something because I feel bad or I want it this way.
Is that these people use marginalized groups that they are oftentimes not even a part of as kind of
Exactly.
leverage in order for them to push their worldview,
Agenda.
in order for them to make people do what they want, basically.
calling everybody murdering eugenicists if they don't cater to what you want
It's a bit
is kinda
much, right?
self-centered. Anyway, for
It's a
those
little
who
bit
haven't
much.
seen the prior videos, this pink-haired person is Courtney, who is a 28-year-old asexual autistic person with low support needs. Who
Oh, I
also
figured.
I
Dude.
said they were a fucking millennial, didn't I? I knew it.
has ADHD. Did I get all those tags
I
perfectly
just got my
correct?
hair
I wouldn't want to
done.
be called a bigot.
Oh my gosh, I had an autistic meltdown this weekend and went nonverbal. Actually, that would be a verbal shutdown. Huh? Because being non-speaking or nonverbal is the permanent state of using words in other forms besides voice. You don't experience that, and you don't have to co-opt someone else's language to describe that experience.
Right, the ass.
These are people that
What?
have
The fuck did she
they
just
have
say?
no
I don't even
problems in their
understand.
life. Literally no problems at all. I can't
Oh,
stand
yeah.
her. These are the people, by the way, that get into positions of power at HR and other types of moderation places in society, and then they want to tell you how to live.
Yep.
Asshole is the person who made the honest mistake and not the one who is
Mhm.
meticulously correcting everyone. Anyway, basically all of
Not
Courtney's
good.
content is centered around what level of the victim tier you're on, and she seems to revel in collecting various diagnoses like autism and ADHD, so she can use that to claim that she is disabled and therefore oppressed, which really is just a personality trait that everyone finds annoying, because ultimately, the reason that they're playing the victim oppression game is to shield themselves from any criticism of their behavior.
That's exactly right. Yeah, anytime that you attack them, you're attacking their disability or their identity. and then
Yeah.
you're a bad person.
Which brings us
It's
to a
always
video
the
that I made a
same
little
game.
while back called
Oh,
Why
no.
the LGBT Movement is Failing.
Oh
That
no!
included an entire
Oh,
10 seconds
boy.
of Courtney
No.
talking about some BS about being non-binary, and I basically responded with the same sentiment of
God.
this meme here, which is that
What do you want? I want everybody to know that I'm offended by everything.
once you see the bad haircut and the pink hair, you know this person's going to be annoying and offended by everything.
Yeah, they're just annoying and obnoxious. You also can't be like, I mean, besides a medical like abnormality, you can't be non-binary. Like you're either a man or a woman. Like that's just how it is. I mean, you can say that you're not, but saying that you're not doesn't make you not. It's common sense.
And I mean, was I wrong? Is the stereotype incorrect?
Mhm.
Wow, is this what you look like without the pink anime character hair? Jeez, this is what 4 years of college will do to a person. Now, a normal person would see criticism like that and either ignore it or make a video
Totally
response.
Oh,
different
jeez.
But since
person.
Courtney has the maturity of a 7-year-old like Illymation, who also
Well,
thought
I mean, yeah, she does. She has the room of a 7-year-old too.
people should not be allowed to criticize her, she decided to fight dirty and file a copyright strike on my video on her to get it removed.
What?
I made this video here responding to that where I pointed out
Oh
that it's
my
ridiculous
God.
that she's striking my video over a 10-second clip. I said that she's
So why am I not surprised?
Yep.
There you go. I have multiple disabilities and I never behave like this. I apologize. Sometimes being hard to deal with instead. Listen, bro, like everybody knows that a bunch of attention-starved, bored, white liberal Karens that live in an upper middle class family are not responsible for every disabled person. We know they are an invasive species. They are. They're an invasive species. And nobody's blaming you. Nobody thinks you did anything wrong. You're not in the same group as them. And you know it. I know it. And everybody else knows it.
engaging in copyright abuse to silence people she doesn't like.
Yep.
And I ended that
Hoes
video by
mad.
saying that I would be fighting the strike.
Hose
Now we're
mad.
all caught up to everything that's already been discussed on this channel. So to continue my point about my dislike of people who constantly play the victim card.
Isn't this
Cancel
building
Karen.
in Star Fox? In like the first
I mean, it
level,
looks
you have to like shoot
familiar.
it right here. It's red and it breaks the building.
Allow me to use this next segment to point out how their demeanor completely
remember
shifts
that?
the minute they feel they have the opportunity to fight dirty and victimize the people they don't like.
Mhm.
By the way, I love how much of this parallels the Illymation drama from last year where she
Oh.
tried to multiple times get me deplatformed because I made a video criticizing her. Anyway, getting to the part where she continues to fight dirty, after I released the dedicated video on her talking about her abusing the copyright system,
Mhm.
Courtney went onto her Instagram and said this. On today's episode of Alt-Right Creators Doing What
How is everybody that disagrees with you alt-right? Like, I mean, at a certain point, don't you realize that, like, maybe you're using this a bit too much?
they do
Like, maybe it's
best.
a little bit too
Stop.
often, right?
You know what's really funny? These people are so obsessed with making sure that everyone labels them properly, yet anytime they are faced with people who have differing opinions,
Yep.
they mislabel them as alt-right or Nazis. I'm not alt-right. Alt-right is a bunch of white supremacists who want an ethno-state, and I have openly stated many times that I don't like racism or identity politics.
You should never even try to explain it to them, because explaining it to them gives their accusations credibility. It's a baseless, stupid accusation with a vague term that nobody even has a definitive definition of. It's just a person trying to demonize you and basically make you look bad. That's all.
So it's nice to see that Courtney
Yep.
believes she deserves a respect that she doesn't give to other people.
Of course.
Moving on, Think Before You Sleep posted a large anti-trans rant video.
Oh.
Stop again. It was not anti-trans. It was a video talking about how sociopathic the activists are and how
Anytime that a trans person does something wrong, if you tell them that it's wrong, you're transphobic.
even LGBT
Did you guys
people
know that?
don't like the activist. I mean, if I can't say that it's wrong for Lily Tino to dress like Miss Rachel and then advertise an OnlyFans account on the same page, then Courtney is basically saying that people
Bro.
can't criticize anything a gay person does or a trans person does.
That's exactly right. That's why they like to identify as those groups. Now you're starting to understand it. These people want to be able to behave with complete impunity and to do whatever and say whatever they want. And so what they do is they create identities for themselves that make them victims, so anybody who attacks them is now labeled as some sort of bad person. That's
Yep.
the reason why they do it.
Makes sense.
Think Before
Coming
You
together.
Sleep posted a large anti-trans rant video and got mad when I got it removed for copyright
They seek
because it
special
illegally
treatment?
used my
Yeah.
content, and they still don't know how copyright works. They? Are you misgendering me, Courtney? I am not a they, them. And last, here's the best part. After complaining about cyberbullying, Courtney finishes by saying, if you could thumbs down, report, or leave a good comment for me, I would appreciate it as I'm being spammed by their alt-right followers right now.
I have no problem with people saying to downvote or to comment, but to tell people to report the video, that's a little bit much.
And then she leaves a link to my video in the post, followed by a screenshot showing that she watched an ad. Thanks, Courtney. I appreciate your financial support. I also appreciate how you're essentially crying about cyberbullying here as you tell your 200,000 Instagram followers to go mass flag.
This is another thing that I really fucking hate about people like this, is that they constantly cry about being victims, but the moment that anybody criticizes them, they will collectively work to deplatform and destroy this person's entire online presence. They will, like, and that's one thing that I said the other day. Remember back whenever I was criticizing that girl, like the Counter-Strike thing, and then that other girl made a tweet. She's like, I can't believe he would say that. I can't, he shouldn't be able to do that. That's so wrong. Like, special interest disability. Yeah, I guess so, right? But like, all I'm really trying to get at here is that they have no problem bullying and attacking other people, but they want to be the ones that have the decision-making capability to do it. That's really it. They play victim while bullying people? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Bomb
That's really
and
what it
harass a
is.
creator who is defending himself against you abusing the copyright system on YouTube. How are you the victim? And keep in mind that the result...
and also, like, don't you think that her fans are going to send this guy weird messages? Of course they are. And, like, bad messages, of course. That's what happens whenever you criticize anybody on the internet.
Of her post was
life.
that I received a shitload
This
of
is how it
negative
is.
comments from her followers.
Yeah,
really
of course.
leading by example by showing that you think that bullying is wrong. Again, I love how this all parallels the Illumination drama, where she essentially did the same thing. She complains about being harassed while at the same time tells her followers to harass me, cries to Noah Sampson about it so he would
There it is. Yep.
tell his followers to harass me, and says thank you to and gives no pushback to a friend who said I should kill myself. And
There we go. What a surprise. See, this is one of the reasons why I talk about these issues, is that I hate these people. I really do. And I like to make videos about it and expose them because I know that it is the pushback that they are terrified of. And they've bullied enough people on the internet to never criticize or push back against them. But I'm just not one of them. I like pushing back against them. And to the extent that they get upset about it, it makes me happy. So that's fine. You want to be a victim? Okay. Sounds good to me.
let me just mention that in both
Most
cases
humble.
with Courtney and Illumination.
And keep in mind, they're the ones that are the bullies. They're the ones
Yeah.
that are going out and trying to destroy
Force you
people's
around.
livelihoods, get them fired from their jobs, make sure that, you know, that you're spreading lies about them. These people have no problem doing any of that stuff. But the moment that anybody criticizes them, even legitimately, they cry that they're being oppressed. No. Nope.
Not happening anymore.
I pretty explicitly told my followers to not comment on
When
their
you push
video.
back, you push back from a much larger fan base. They get what they deserve. They do. And I enjoy being able to do it. And I'll do it as long as I can.
Or harass them or engage with them in
Amen,
any way.
brother.
So Courtney, level with me for a second. How is
Yep.
it okay for you to make multiple videos saying everyone who doesn't wear a mask everywhere in public is a bad person, followed by passive-aggressively wishing disability on those who refuse to mask? Like,
Wait,
it's
if
okay.
that's not enough for you, may I remind you that repeat COVID infections are killing and permanently disabling healthy people too?
To criticize those people, but if I say I don't like
Maybe if they're
pink hair,
fat.
then you feel like you're morally justified in sending your audience to try to deplatform me.
Exactly, yes. These people don't, and this is what I've said before, the people don't want to defund the police. They want to be the police. People don't want to they don't want to stop censorship. They want to be the censors. They don't want to stop racism. They want to be the ones in charge of who gets to be racist. And once you understand that all of the language is just in service of them maintaining a power structure for themselves, everything else makes sense.
I mean, holy
Oh,
shit,
so
these
clearly
people
now.
are ridiculous, especially considering people like Illumination's good friend Noah Sampson, who's moved on to telling his followers to commit acts of terrorism. And wouldn't it be a damn shame if someone had an old deleted tweet from Illumation where she was encouraging terrorism in 2020? Wouldn't it be
Protest, riot, do anything that you must to make them hear and make them listen. It's actually crazy that this is what makes me so mad about like people at the government right now, is that why are these people not getting investigated? Why is this not happening?
That's what I want to know.
Someone pointed out that poor
The
little
hell?
Illumation, who was always a victim, was cheering for innocent people having the shit kicked out of them and their property being looted and destroyed. Wouldn't it be awful if someone had an archive of when Twitter likes were still public and had a post that she liked with a bunch of buildings on fire saying no justice, no peace?
That's right.
No wonder her and Noah get along. Both of them love terrorism. But I digress. You see,
They love it until it happens to them.
Yeah, they're all
what
for
Courtney
it
has
till
done
then.
here with this Instagram post is not only violate YouTube's cyberbullying policy, but she also violated Google's terms of service.
Wow, what a surprise.
Anyway, as I said in the earlier video,
could've
I will be
guessed?
fighting Courtney's abuse of the copyright system. The way that works is that you file a counterclaim, and the person who filed the strike has 10 business days to prove to YouTube that they filed a lawsuit or the video goes back up. Since Courtney was insistent that I had broken the law, and because she said she talked to someone at YouTube...
This is actually a huge W, by the way, by this guy.
Yeah.
I totally support him. There are people that misuse the copyright abuse system, and because of the way the law is written and the fact that it's so antiquated, like the law DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act, was made in 1998, and we're still applying it to YouTube videos today. And I think that, I mean, there's obviously a huge problem with that intrinsically, but on top of that, you have people that are using this as a way to suppress criticism from each other should be universally disliked, and nobody should be supporting this at all.
They said it was copyright infringement. I hired a lawyer. Ethan Klein's lawyer, actually. And after I finished the initial consultation, I just started laughing.
No shit, dude. No shit. She's so cooked.
Oh,
Just so
bro.
you're up to speed, any creative work that you make, like a song or a YouTube video, is by law instantly copyrighted so that people can't resell
yes,
it.
this was changed in the 1970s. Before that, it had to be patented, but in the 1970s, this was changed.
Claim it's theirs, unless they want to get sued. However, there's an exception to copyright called fair use, which says that you can use people's copyrighted works for the sake of things like parody, education, or commentary, provided that your use of the work doesn't act as a replacement for it, and provided that your input on whatever you used creates some sort of transformative change that alters how people interpret it. This is what allows for doing things like a movie review and using clips from that movie without having to ask the company.
Exactly.
So I'm arguing that my use of Courtney's content is fair use.
It's obviously fair use.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's like 5 seconds of your clip, and he has a whole, like, what, hour like, you know what I mean? Like 20-minute video of it.
She's not going to go to court with it. I mean, obviously.
She has no grounds.
Have to be held up in a court of law, but since I only used 10
and that's
seconds,
also another important component is that fair use is a legal defense. It's not a preemptive, kind of categorization. So in order to get a person to say that, no, it's okay for you to do that, it's fair use, you do have to have that decided by a court of law, which is what makes it so annoying.
And I gave commentary.
You just can't have there's no like third party that can do a verification. That's what makes it so difficult.
Saying it's almost certain that it would be ruled as fair use. But that's not why I thought this whole thing was funny after talking to a lawyer. Now, I'm going to be brief on these specific reasons for why Courtney is screwed because I'm not trying to educate my opponent. That would be a stupid move.
Sure.
However, I will say that basically the reason
Bold of you to assume that she would be smart enough to watch a video that would help her situation. She's the kind of person that's so stupid. She's like a lot of the people that Ethan is suing. They think that they're on the right side of history, so they have some kind of plot armor that's going to prevent them from having any type of accountability.
Laughing is because the amount of
so they won't
damages
even
that
try.
she's legally allowed to pursue for copyright infringement of that 10-second clip is almost nothing compared to how much it would cost to sue me. She would be putting a second mortgage on that pink house to afford it.
Jesus.
That's if she wins. However, if she loses, which is very likely, It would be
She has to pay all the
incredibly
legal
easy
fees.
for me to prove that
Yeah.
her takedown was malicious, which means I can countersue for my lawyer fees, and that won't be cheap for her. So let me be very clear when I say
Oh,
that if somebody
shit.
were to put me through
Oh.
a massive waste of time lawsuit like that and didn't have the liquid cash to pay for it, I would be brutal in trying to seize every single piece of property that they value
Base.
until the fees were paid. I very much believe in the fuck
shit.
around
Oh, yeah.
and find out
Fuck around
policy.
and find
And if you
out.
ever get so pissy about
Yep.
someone criticizing your
True.
pink hair that you turn it into a legal
Oh.
battle, then I'll make sure that you understand why it's a stupid idea to file a lawsuit against somebody because your feelings got hurt. Because once you stop being emotional about
Yes.
this, you're going to realize how financially stupid this was for you. Now, as for
No,
what's happened
she's not. Look at all of her plushies. She's professionally financially stupid.
so far
Professional.
legally, I filed a
Oh, I love
counterclaim
it.
and she backed down. Probably because she doesn't have a lawyer or any actual understanding
Mm-hmm.
of how the law works, and she doesn't want to lose a lawsuit.
Uh-huh.
Actually, just for laughs, let's go over how I know she doesn't have a lawyer. For starters, she said, a person at YouTube told me it was copyright infringement, instead of saying something like, my lawyer said it was copyright infringement. Not to mention that YouTube purposefully does not take
Actually,
a legal...
no. 10 seconds of unedited footage with no overlays or edits does not qualify as fair use for unique video content. I worked in the creative space for years. I'm quite familiar with copyright laws. That's why a human rep at YouTube approved it. They're just mad that someone finally submitted a claim with their videos and could easily be removed. Unedited footage.
stance on these issues because they don't want to be held liable. So Courtney was probably talking to a secretary.
By
or
the
an-
way, the video was edited. The aspect ratio was changed. The videos were recorded in landscape, and they were edited because this video is not in landscape. It's in 1080p. So, like, even on a technicality, she's wrong. Like, it's just, again, and this is, like, is it a bot or representative? Yeah, it's just stupid.
AI chatbot that she thought was a human. Now, let me further
Mm-hmm.
emphasize how stupid it is to not consult legal counsel for stuff like this. Because Courtney 100% does not know how to shut the fuck
Portrait?
up.
Yeah, something
which,
like that.
as the defendant,
Yeah,
What? No. Damn, she's just gonna get herself in more and more trouble.
personally, I love. So after she made that post telling everyone to mass flag my
So
channel,
she's trying to sue
she made
people?
a YouTube community post talking about my video where people were happy to confirm that they were mass flagging my video that broke no rules, which again violates YouTube's community guidelines. Here's evidence of that. The great thing about this post
He's gonna file a report.
is that it helps my case for fair use. Her calling me alt-right and transphobic is a public admission that our viewpoints are diametrically opposed. Thanks, Courtney. That'll make it much easier to argue in a court of law that my commentary is transformative and fair use because I'm
it's critical. Yes.
arguing a viewpoint that opposes
Yo.
yours.
Yes,
Here we go.
that's one of the 4 pillars of fair use. If she knew anything about fair use, she would know that, and she would have never said that. It's actually
4
crazy. You
pillars
know,
of
there's a
fair
reason why
use.
every lawyer tells you that whenever you're in the middle of a lawsuit that you're not supposed to talk about it. Have you ever noticed
that's
that?
exactly
They
why.
always say that. This is the reason why they always say that.
The great part is that she deleted this post, another indicator that she doesn't have a lawyer because deleting evidence like that is called spoliation, and there are penalties for that in court.
True.
I mean, she'd have to be an idiot to think I didn't save it. Speaking of, Courtney had no
He's got it.
Oh man.
Yeah. Why? It also, by the way, it is something that's it's looked upon very negatively. If you're found to be deleting evidence that could basically make you look bad, I mean, at that point, like, I mean, really, let's just go ahead and use a little bit of common sense here. Why would somebody want to delete evidence about themselves like that? Why would they want to do that? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're trying to hide the truth. That's why.
problem running her mouth all over the comment section of that post, and it would be a damn shame if somebody read through every single public comment she made and archived them. I mean, she was super arrogant about how knowledgeable she is about copyright law and how she has some sort of connections at YouTube. I guess it didn't work that well because my video is back up. Here's a comment that says,
Oh boy.
they're
here we
weird
go.
as hell for getting
Man.
upset over this. Even
Too
if it
bad, huh? Too
Right?
bad. One's genius, the other one's insane. Judge has common sense too.
is fair
Yeah,
use, as
everybody
some people
sees
claim,
this.
you have a right to not be in a video if you don't want to. There they go, misgendering me again. I'm not a they,
Yep.
them. And no, she doesn't have the right to not be criticized. Courtney is an influencer, and because she posts herself in the public square...
Yep, and yeah, we've got...
Yeah.
And I proved their point to a real person at YouTube. It wasn't under fair use, and they agreed. And no, they didn't agree with you, Courtney. You moron. They have to agree with you. DMCA compels them to shoot first and ask questions later. It's not... That's not even what it is. That's not how it works. That's never how it's worked.
People are allowed to comment on her.
Imagine being Ethan's lawyer right now. I would be so happy.
Right?
This is all you do is farm like these retarded Karens on the internet. And the only thing that's unfortunate is that I don't think that a lot of them have very much money. 2 big law cases? Yeah, exactly. And then, oh, it's ableist and transphobic comments. Right. Well, Your Honor, if you look, so this comment said I was a dumb bitch. So I think that I should win the lawsuit and he should give me all the money. Yes. Okay, that's nice.
That's
Why,
nice.
I also want to be a lawyer. Yeah.
Bro,
If
you
don't want
should
people
just be a
commenting on you,
lawyer.
then don't post stuff on the internet.
No, a judge.
Courtney responds by agreeing and saying that
Judge
transphobic
Asman.
comments make a video not fair use. What?
This is your brain on victim mentality. That's your brain. That's how it works, guys. That's where you're at.
Did I read that right?
Yep.
Here's a comment where she's openly acknowledging that she told her followers to go harass me and how much she appreciates them doing that.
Oh,
and
sure.
last but not least, you could use this comment to argue that the reason that she struck the video is because of the criticism and not because any copyright infringement was...
Yep. The comment section was so unrelated to the serious issue. I saw they talked about your hair color, your gender identification, other stuff had nothing to do with anything. There were some hard comments to read. And that's what they do when they don't have an actual argument. Unfortunately, the original video was 100x that, and I have zero regrets getting it taken down if it stopped some of the hate for other folks on it.
What the hell? Why? I'm glad I helped
Should not have
stop
said
this.
You shouldn't have said that. Why would you say that? Even if you think it's true, you should know not to say it. That's what I think. This, yes, main character syndrome. I know. We have an epidemic.
Yeah.
And this is just
This
gonna
is
get worse
getting
every
bad.
year because more millennials are going to get into positions of power. We have an epidemic of main character syndrome millennials. And these are these androgynous, brain dead, emotionally unstable blobs that are addicted to Pokemon, SSRIs, and anime who are trying to ruin the world. That's what we're up against, guys.
Reach, brother.
That's it. And now, yes, and now Labubu's. And I understand I'm also a millennial. But I'm one of the good ones, okay? I think so. These other people are fucking crazy. They're awful. Yeah, I'm one of the good ones.
Admitted. Let me just emphasize that we have a ton of evidence that Courtney filed that strike in bad faith.
Of course.
And just as a reminder, for those of you who haven't seen the video that she tried to silence that's called Why the LGBT Movement is Failing, note that video was primarily about predators like Lily Tino filming in the Disneyland bathrooms with children.
That's right. Yes, of course. Yes. And the transphobia is coming from, oh, that's right, filming children and talking about getting, trans surgery in a public space with children in the background. Yes, that was the criticism. Why do you have such an obsession with going into women's bathrooms? I've been into a woman's bathroom before. It's the same as a man's bathroom, except they don't have urine. It's the exact same thing. They're not cleaner. It's the exact same thing. Sure, you have to clean it out. Yeah, sure. You guys ever done that? Of course.
Advertising OnlyFans on a page that features Miss Rachel parody content intended for kids, and going into restaurants trying to get people fired in an attempt to go viral on TikTok, as well as there being a crazy mom in that video giving her kid medicine that will permanently sterilize him at 13 years old.
Dr. Olson
Oh, man.
had a decision. You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she
The perfect place? What the fuck?
I understand that a lot of you guys really get frustrated because I'm not racist to other groups of people. It's because I can't be. But I can be racist to my group of people. Wow. It's the usual suspects. Every single time.
promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think. You're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Who's the best?
Oh my God.
Bad person
Jeez.
here. Courtney
my
is literally
God.
defending child predators and saying, I'm the hateful
This is
one
insane.
because I spent 20 seconds in a video saying I don't like her pink hair
Yeah.
and I think she's annoying. Everybody is tired of people like this. Everybody
Everybody
is
is.
tired of adults like this who behave like
Yes.
5-year-olds, wagging their
Yes.
fingers and telling everyone what to do.
Yes! I am sick of hearing what I need to do from a person who looks like they need to be in a padded room. If your personality is your mental disorders, I don't want to hear about what I need to change in my life from you. Holy shit.
You stop living the life you thought a proper adult should and start living for what brings your inner child joy.
So, when I was a younger guy, I always wanted to hold on to and remember the way I was whenever I was a kid, right? Like, I had a really great childhood growing up. Everything was really good for me. Like, I was so happy. Everything was great. And, you know, I tell people, Chibi, thanks for the 10 gifted subs, bro. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. And I did. And I had that happen a lot. And I kind of felt the same way that this girl did. And, like, I mean, obviously, I didn't do it, right? But, like, I mean, it's, you know, to an extent, right? And I think that whenever my mom died, I realized that you can't really ever actually go back. You can't, like, I'm a grown man now. I'm a grown man. I'm in my own life. And, you know, that was the old times. This is the new times. And, you know, she was then, I'm now. And that's it. And I think that the amount of coddling and and my dad, you know, was always, my dad is even, if you can believe, my dad, for however harsh I am, my dad's like 3 times as bad.
I bet.
Hate that feeling, seeing my dad pass. Yeah, and
That's how I was the same. However hard my dad was, I'm like half as hard.
think that really it was
Some
a reality check.
Let's
for me,
be
it was.
honest.
And I feel bad for these people in a way, but the issue that I have is that they're looking for something and they're never going to find it because it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. Everything about it is gone.
Exactly.
And you keep trying to hold on to this world, and you keep trying to, like, you know, it's like you're holding it so hard, and it's just, yeah, time has passed. And it was a very weird thing for me because I used to be such a sentimental and nostalgic person, and I still am in a lot of ways. But a big part of me changed after that happened, and a couple of other, you know, like big personal events happened in my life. And I stopped constantly reminiscing on being 17 years old, because for a long time I was like, okay, and I still believe this. I believe I was born
This is
rich.
really
you know?
shit.
I had 2 parents that loved me. I lived in a nice house, and you know, I was surrounded by my friends. We didn't have millions of dollars, but you know, I'd trade millions of dollars to have what I had then again. But I can't do that. I can't have that happen. And so instead of what these people need to do, and I can, this is a criticism you can leverage at me too, is that instead of trying to recreate your own childhood, why don't you try to have kids and recreate theirs and create theirs for the first time and give them the opportunity to be happy the way that you were? Like that's the way you're like that's
Yes.
and that's the circle
Let's
of life,
go.
right? That's what you're supposed to do. It's the same as I said before. Like whenever I was a kid, not a kid, a young guy, I was getting food stamps. I was on food stamps. I was on food stamps and I was jacking off to fucking bullshit on the internet, like different random shit, and playing video games. That's what I was doing. That's my job. I was getting paid to sit around and do fucking nothing.
That's my
right?
job.
Furry porn? Well, I was going to make a joke about it, but I decided that might be a weird joke, right? Especially with like kind of some of the weird stuff that's happened recently. So like, no jokes about that. But the point is that, you know, and now I'm an adult. I'm making good money. Things are good for me. I'm paying it forward to the next generation of do nothing neats, because one of them might actually do something in the future that might make money for the next generation of do nothing neats. And so really, I mean, I that's what's so sad about this is it's the subversion and the mutation of what's supposed to be the human experience. So instead of trying to recreate and give the childhood that you loved and made you so happy to your children, you're trying to relive it for yourself. There's something that's spiritually wrong about that. And I understand that, you know, I don't have any kids, right? So like I'm also not trying to do this either. It's something that it's really wrong. Am I crazy? Like maybe I just this just came out of me, right? But I just saw the picture and it made me think about it. It really did. You're not crazy? Yeah, exactly. It's trying to live forever? Yeah, and there's a certain amount of selfishness to it, I think. There is. The center of their own universe, exactly. There's something spiritually wrong about this. I don't say that very often.
Child joy.
This is what I mean. Everyone
This is what a
catered-
proper adult can look like too. Bright hair, colorful clothes, tattoos, plushies, and all. Great. You want to dress like Dora the Explorer? Go ahead. I don't give a fuck. There's no right or wrong way to be an adult. Of course there is. There's tons of wrong ways to be an adult. There's tons of right ways to be an adult. Absolutely. What are we talking about? Like, yeah, absolutely you are. Plus, life is way too dang short to live it for someone else's narrow ideals. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. But at the same time, I think that there's something wrong with it. Yes. There's this kind of stuff to make you believe in biblical good and evil. There's nothing, these people are pure evil. They're not pure evil. They are, I think that they have taken permissive liberalism to its logical conclusion, which is I should be able to do whatever I want. I shouldn't have to conform to any social ideals. Everything in the entire world is completely about me. And I am the victim. I'm the main character. I'm going to be selfish with everything, and even to the detriment of other people that care about me. That's it.
To me, because I'm a child, I'm afraid of COVID, so here's this drawing I made to call you a piece of shit for not wearing a mask. You know, if you're a 28-year-old who has Peter Pan syndrome and want to play with children's toys...
Rating my fidget toys.
Yo, no. Really?
Eat the diet of a kindergartner and live inside of your obnoxiously...
Wait, what does it say? Exclusively eats junk food and calls it safe food. I can see why you have stomach problems. Just don't listen to any of that. It's not true at all. Safe foods. I'm always curious what other people's are.
And live inside of your obnoxiously pink house that I'm...
So that's why there's so much decor still in the front. Oh my God. And you can see that, and this is, I think this is what's so sad, man, is that you have the Christmas stockings up all year.
Oh, really?
Isn't it sad?
You got a Crayola crayon? Like,
It's
how
sad,
old are
man.
you?
I'm sure your husband is only pretending to like because he's afraid of you. Then go ahead.
Husband.
It's America. Live how you want to live in private. But the minute you start bringing your childish bullshit around me is the minute that I start caring.
People
and
have the right to have an opinion.
The minute you start pretending to be a victim as an
Exactly.
excuse to treat people like shit is the minute I have a problem.
And that's not even considering the larger community of all disabled folks who also experience chronic stress.
Bro, what is wrong with your... Why did you draw on your... What? Look like a peacock.
And dysregulation from unmet accessibility needs and living in disabled bodies in a disability hostile world.
Right. We live in a disability
Oh, really? Because you coming at people is not...
hostile world where we have a ton of accommodations and legislation to help disabled people, as well as
Exactly.
economic support.
This is the most disabled,
Base.
like this is the most friendly the world has ever been to disabled people.
Yeah.
They used to throw them off a cliff.
Yeah, like in
think we really
Sparta.
do that too much anymore, right? We don't really do that hardly at all. So I feel like things have gotten a lot better. Like, what are the ramps for?
people who are unable to work. I mean, this chick should check out World War II Germany if she wants to see a government that's hostile towards disabled people. But ultimately...
Yo.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
And what I find to be so funny about this is that this is actually invoking, like, Nazi Germany in a way that's accurate. And anybody who's educated in this knows that.
This line of messaging is not helpful to the people that she claims to be advocating for,
Mhm.
which is typical of activism. And I get
Of
tired
course.
of people who have made it their life's mission to infect others with philosophy that turns them into useless victims.
And as someone who's black myself and has observed a lot of the mindsets that permeate within the black community, I think the one thing that's holding a lot of us back is the victimhood mentality. I've never been a fan of any group of people looking at me and saying, poor you because of this and that.
Right, this victim mindset is...
No, he's completely right. I mean, the way that you empower minorities and groups of people like that to succeed is you give them the same opportunities that other people have. That's why I've always been in favor of, like affirmative action based off of income. Like, it's the same thing. I mean, like, and if it disproportionately helps minorities, something isn't good or bad based off of who it helps. Something is good or bad objectively. And if you're looking at, oh, well, the wrong people are getting points against them for this, or the right people are winning because of this, and that's wrong, you're not thinking about the issue. You're thinking about your agenda.
Exactly. It's all agenda
It's
based.
rampant in a lot
That's
of
all they
communities.
got.
And it's not helpful to anyone because it just demoralizes them into achieving far less than their potential.
Sure does.
Usually that results in them demanding stuff from everyone that they could have just gotten for themselves. What's worse in Courtney's
Right.
case, though, is that not only will she tell disabled people to avoid assimilating into normal society as much as they're able to, but also she'll tell them to self-diagnose mental disabilities.
Yeah, self-diagnose yourself with a mental disability like he does.
Oh, no. What is this?
You don't want to
By
know.
the way, how do you have the money to live like this?
Disability.
Really? I mean, like, what the fuck is this? Pure diagnosis or being validated by another autistic person is very accurate, and that's what I recommend for those people seeking validation outside of healthcare. What is this? So it's like the N-word pass, but for autistic people? Oh, no, I can say it. No. Crazy Ted gave me the pass. This is so fucking stupid. And these are the
Doesn't
same
get any
people, hey,
dumber
by the
than
way,
this.
the same people probably spamming, trust the science.
Abilities, which is just the worst health advice.
Mhm.
And apparently, this is an entire trend on TikTok.
Yeah, what is this? Let me go back and read this here. Healthcare access is not universal and systematic inequality is. It is universal to get a lot of healthcare access. If you don't think so, then go to the emergency room and see if they're going to treat you or not. Yeah, just go there. I mean, you do get healthcare access. You can be an illegal alien and they're going to treat you. That's just the way it is. By friends. As I said, bro, like this is what I would, this is like my last boss. You know, like this is whenever I imagine
This is the final
what
boss.
are you all what are you doing it for? To be against this. Yeah, this is the last boss. The final Karen. You spend your time knowing
Final
Karen.
Karen.
Humans saying what everyone else is ever too afraid to admit. You're more sharing. The darkness might change you the same way it did Sark. So if you stare into the abyss long enough, you're worried it'll stare back into you. No, I'm not. I've already been in the abyss.
Boy.
I've been in the abyss.
I've already been in the abyss. Yeah.
Maybe
Yes.
that's a little bit, you know, that's like a quote probably that you could get from like Illidan Stormrage or Light Yagami. But like, really, I mean, I've always been an asshole. I'm not worried about turning into an asshole because I already was.
TikTok.
We've seen the rise of self-diagnosed mental illness. The term neurodivergent went mainstream, which mostly referred to autism and ADHD, and it gained traction on platforms like TikTok where users self-diagnosed.
I actually think that the term neurodivergent is a very good term, and I like the term because autism is only one type of disorder. And I think that people classify any type of antisocial behavior as autism when actually there's a huge umbrella of other behaviors like that. Like like the actual term neurodivergent, I think is a very, very good term. I like the term.
Demanded accommodations for these conditions, like
Bring back retard. I mean, I mean, again, it's called us retards. I got people that too. I mean, it's fine. I don't really use, the thing is to me, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Generally, I don't really use autistic or Asperger's ever as an insult. I very rarely use, I guess I call people schizos sometimes. But like in general, like I generally, and this is not always, because as I said, I am an asshole. I generally avoid using medical distinctions as insults. I do.
Place flexibility, using their conditions
Yeah, I don't like
as
doing
an
that
excuse to
shit.
shrug off adulthood and evade
Yes.
responsibility in so many cases.
Yep.
People started collecting labels like they were personality.
Neurodivergents notice everything. I mean everything. Did you notice that you're an attention seeker? Is that it?
Points, non-binary, disabled, neurodivergent, polyamorous, and became offended
What
if
the
others
hell?
didn't properly adhere to them.
Right. Taking pride in how mentally ill you are is the smart thing to do instead of getting accurate
Yeah.
Getting help.
diagnoses and professional help.
Yeah.
All TikTok is doing in this respect is making people friendless and unlikable without giving them any perspective as to why people outside of the internet don't want to be around them.
You seemed really standoffish at first.
Gee, why would people see you like that?
Nobody likes you. Why does nobody like me? Wait a minute. My whole life, I've been having negative interactions with everybody that I meet. I've found the solution.
Change
It's
everyone.
a disorder that I can't control, and everybody else in the whole world is out to get me. Obviously.
Facts.
That
Facts.
must be it, right, guys?
It has to be.
Well,
What else
maybe
could
it's
it be?
because half of your videos are you telling people why they can't live how they want because it offends you,
Yeah.
followed by using being slightly autistic or non-binary as a shield against criticism. Like, it's funny how you have perpetual victims like Courtney, but then you have people like Ricky Berwick, who doesn't give a shit and can eloquently say things like, I'm Canadian.
Yo.
Oh, jeez.
And you retard. It's weird how basically
Canadian, you
everyone I've
retard,
known
yeah.
who has a disability in real life doesn't feel the need to make it their entire personality and really just
No, I think that we're really going to be in for a very, very interesting time when you get these guys that are quadriplegic and they've been like fucking totally paralyzed. They can only like move their tongue or something. And you finally get them a neural link and you can they can actually like express themselves for the first time. Because imagine having to sit back and just observe and watch the movie of your life play out for 20 years, 30 years, and you haven't been able to give any fucking commentary on it. I bet, yeah, they're gonna pop off. But one guy, like as I said, I think there was like one guy, and he was like going around, and they gave him this voice thing, and he's just going around Walmart, and he's saying that my mother has a bomb over and over. And then another guy they gave one of those fucking brain implants for. Well, what did he do? He stayed up all night playing Civilization 7 or Civ 6. Yeah, we are in for a very, very based awakening.
Based awakening.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just wants to be treated as if they weren't disabled. But then you have people like Courtney who are out here ordering everyone around, calling people evil eugenicists for not complying with her demands.
What? Complying with her demands? What are they? Look at these eyes. Bro, when you see eyes like this, you stay back. I don't care what she says.
People like Courtney are doing a disservice to everyone who needs help or accommodations to survive.
They do.
Fireworks suck because they scare.
Fireworks suck because they
Easy
scare
eyes.
autistic people. Oh, like a dog.
Yeah, like a dog.
It's like she lives in a set of Blue's Clues.
Autistic and neurodivergent people too. 4th of July is a racist holiday that only celebrates the freedom.
And she's here talking to herself.
I thought that those were her friends, but I should
Right?
have known better. They were just different
Exactly.
recordings of her talking to herself.
Yes.
Of a select few.
Bro, she
Okay,
needs to
not
hit
only
the
do we have to
za.
wear a mask everywhere, but now fireworks are bad because they offend autistic people.
And
the 4th of July is racist.
Right.
I have to mask every day, but you can't wear earplugs for a few hours once a year. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love this video. That is so good. You want everybody to wear masks around 24/7 when they go out in public, but they can't set off fireworks, and you can't wear earplugs for a couple hours a year.
If a couple
I mean,
hours.
does anything display the obvious fucking self-righteousness better than that?
Literally doing everything in her power to make everyone hate autistic people.
Mhm.
And all irony is completely lost on her.
My
as she-
identity is not your Halloween costume. Well, why would I want to dress up like a retard?
She is a Korean who complains about bullshit like Halloween culture.
Also, wait. This is an anime. This is from an anime. It's called Psyche.
We're like
This
Psycho.
is the person that had that. No, wait a minute. Yeah,
I did not
know,
catch
I know,
that.
wait, I know this. That's the person wasn't autistic.
Wait.
You think they were autistic? No, they weren't. How do you know? Because I saw it. How the fuck do you think I know?
Cultural appropriation as she dresses like an anime character from Japan. So
Yeah.
everyone's done with this. Elon bought Twitter and stopped banning people for criticizing these professional victims. And because of that, all of the other social media sites had to stop doing that to compete.
Exactly. Yes. Nobody wants these people around. They're the most obnoxious, annoying, negative, net negative people in the entire society. Everybody hates them. Nobody likes them. Not even themselves. All they want to do is, like, they hate the way they look. That's why they constantly change their appearance. They hate the fact that they're older. That's why they constantly try to live like a child. They hate everything about themselves and their own existence, but we're somehow supposed to listen to them and accommodate everything that they want. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And I think that, again, he's right. Elon buying Twitter, that was the fucking flashpoint. That was the point where people said, finally, I don't have to play pretend with this bullshit anymore. Thank God.
Courtney, maybe it's time to learn how to
Fixed it
ignore
all.
criticism that you don't like or respond to it in the Coliseum of ideas instead of using the typical radical leftist below-the-belt cancel culture tactics. Because those don't work anymore.
That's right.
Anyway,
Hose
thanks
mad.
for watching. Follow me on Twitter,
Yeah,
and I'll see
hose
you in the next
mad.
video.
Big hose
I
mad
had
situation.
no idea that this video was going to be this based. I genuinely did not even, I could not have even comprehended this. Oh my God. Let me link you guys a video. This was so good. Think before you sleep. This guy almost has 1 million subscribers. Make sure to give him a sub. Maybe we'll get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
All autistic people really want is for people that have basic understanding and empathy for their needs. Every autistic person is not the same. Autism is a huge spectrum. You have people that are nonverbal autism, and you have other people that are autism because they get hyperfixated on things. So just using autism as a broad term is, I think, not really very accurate. The fact is that, you know, this is the way that I treat everybody. I try to be respectful and nice to people, and I expect them to do the same thing to me. And I don't like to have people tell me what to do or push me around. That's it.
Exactly.
And I think that,
I
that's really
respect that.
fundamentally, at the end of the day, that is one of the things that people like this are pushing back against so much. They are so fucking tired of being told what to do. This is... Oh, man, I'm going to have to watch this. Not right now, but we're watching that later. And yes, I am amazed. 287 dislikes. Well, yeah, because like these, nobody likes these people. As I said, they hate themselves. These people are like poisonous flowers. They have bright colors to warn of their danger. At this point, I got everything.
You're like a venomous snake. At this point, I got everything.
I'm not going to be around you. Really? Was it that easy? If you wear a mask, more power to you, but you can't tell people to wear something just to make your life easier. I think that, again, if you want to wear a mask, that's totally fine. And that's the other problem. They always want to tell everybody else what to do. And that's what I think is so annoying.
And they can't do it themselves.
Give me a second. And yeah, I don't have PoE2 fatigue yet. Yeah, neither do I, actually. Fun fact. But why do these retards have 200K followers? It's concerning. You are worried that 200,000 people out of 7 or 8 billion people are retarded? You're really worried about that? I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I think that's fine.
I mean, I kind of agree. Definitely. Actually, I most definitely agree with that. I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest. That was a good ass video. Let's see what we can get into right now. All right. High on life, bruh. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Description may have ran out. Gotta renew it. Renew. Even get to play Gears Reloaded, damn it. I have to resubscribe. I'll do that later. Once human, new world, exile. A lot of games here. A lot of games. What am I vibing with today, though? Something. Fuck it. Maybe we'll just watch another video. I don't know. Let me put something till I get that my game situated. I gotta look through them and see what I want to play. Got a lot to go through.
Holy, wait, this is an hour ago. Holy shit.
Damn.
So this has been
what
going
is
on
going
for
on?
months?
This is Siberia.
So this was in March.
The hell?
Wow.
What is it?
It's liberation. Yeah, look at how many people there are. This is insane. Ever since the train. How is nobody talking about this? This is massive. We are having a global international crash out. It's happening in Indonesia. It's happening in America. It's happening in Europe. It's happening on a minor level in, what do you call it? Japan. It's happening in Australia. And I think in some South American countries it's been happening. There is a global, worldwide crash out.
Serbia is seeing another night of clashes between anti-government protesters and security forces. Footage appears to show police throwing flares at protesters, with rioters throwing objects and fireworks back at the police in the capital, Belgrade.
Yeah, look at all this.
Violence has been rocking the country for the past several days after members of the ruling Serbian Progressive Party were accused of throwing fireworks at protesters. Anti-government demonstrations were triggered months ago after a deadly roof collapse at a train station. Dozens of people have been injured in the recent unrest, with hundreds more detained.
Protesters faced off with riot police, separating them from right-wing government loyalists in downtown Belgrade. Armored vehicles rolled through parts of the capital.
Holy
and
shit!
Fired tear gas
Look at all
at
this.
Demonstrators. There were also violent protests in other Serbian cities, including in Valjevo.
See, I bet that before they invented like cell phone cameras and shit, I bet the police beat the shit out of it and they killed people all the time. And I bet this happened in the U.S. Like, I guarantee you, like some guy that's causing trouble in some small town, they're like, yeah, Ted, we're going to take you down to the station. And, you know, they pull up next to like the side of like a big hill and they're like, all right, Ted, go ahead. We're gonna untie you. All right. You got anything else you gotta say? No? All right. Bang. And that's it. Yeah, for sure. I guarantee you that's what happened probably all the time. It's still happening in third world countries today. Yeah.
Where video shared on social media showed officers with batons beating an unarmed demonstrator. The unrest marks a sharp...
And I think that now, especially, like, what's really changed is that, and this has been happening in the last 10 years, is you're having even, like, I mean, Serbia isn't, like, a shitty country or anything like that, right? But, like, they have a lower standard of living, is my understanding, is, like, in, like, compared to, like, the U.S. or Canada, right? And so, like, now, almost everybody has access to a cell phone in one way or another. And so anybody can record this kind of stuff. And so now you're seeing the types of oppression that I think people go through in these countries that are developing or are third world countries.
Escalation of protests, which have gripped Serbia
That's what it seems like what's going on
for 9 months. But this week, the tensions spiked after groups of pro-government supporters allegedly attacked anti-government demonstrators, who in turn were accused of throwing rocks and eggs at police.
Well, it seems like that's what happened.
This cooperation between thugs, the police, and the ruling SNS party has never been seen before. All of us citizens are very upset by these developments.
Yeah, I bet. Holy shit.
Student-led anti-government protests
and this is
were
all
initially
over that
triggered
thing.
last November by the collapse of a railway station roof in the town of Novi Sad, which killed 16 people. Many Serbians blame the incident on government corruption and shoddy construction contracts linked to allies of the ruling Serbian Progressive Party.
Yeah, basically they hired this is
Bad
like a national, it was like a
contractors.
Grand Central Station in
Oh,
Serbia.
yeah.
Right? It was like a national area that like
Yeah, this is like their main source of transportation, this train station. And the guys that went and did it were so bad that it ended up collapsing.
everybody recognized a famous train station, and they had like a garden over it, and they redid
Yeah.
it, and they had this like Chinese company or something like that do it. And like after they did like a post-mortem of the construction after it collapsed, it was so obviously made basically with no care or relevance at all. They didn't give a fuck. Yeah, they basically duct taped it all together. They didn't account
Yeah,
for water weight.
that's all it
Exactly.
was.
They made something with a garden that did not account for water weight.
Horrible
Oh my
job
fucking
on
God.
that.
So it collapsed, it killed a bunch of people. And that wasn't really why people were angry. I mean, it was, but the real reason why they were angry is that nobody faced any accountability for it. Nothing happened. Nobody really got arrested. There were connections that, as I said, like the party to like the company that was happening. Yeah, who approved it? Well, I don't know. It was mostly kids. Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, it was the catalyst. Yeah, it was. Well, basically what it did is that it gave everybody that was, it was a point where you could look at and you could say, yes, we have corruption. Look at this. I think that's probably what happened.
Since then,
huge protests. People losing their fucking minds. People were furious. And I want you guys to see, this is what needs to happen. Like for those of you guys that are in Australia and in Europe and you want to get the immigrants out and all the migrants that are not assimilating into your culture and are being protected by the government systematically, even though they sexually assault the women that are in your country. This is the size of a crowd you need to start. You need to get way more people.
demonstrations have swelled, fueled by wider frustrations over Serbia's economy, media restrictions, and alleged misuse of public funds.
Yeah.
Protesters are now demanding early elections in hopes of ousting President Aleksandar Vučić and his party. But Vučić has remained defiant, denouncing the demonstrations as part of a foreign plot to overthrow him. He
of course, right.
Also praised the conduct of the police and pledged more arrests after the protests. But even the threat of a harsh police crackdown has not.
And here's how you know they're full of shit. Is that nobody got arrested as far as I know in the government for any sort of corruption. There is nobody that got in trouble for, gross negligence on the development of this. Like nothing ever really happened to anybody there. So that's how you know it's
bullshit. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Who have announced more protests across Serbia. They're demanding accountability for November's station
just like
collapse
ours,
and an end to what they call
and this is what the big difference is, right? And I try to say this every time that I look at this, is that in America, these conflicts don't happen that are unified against the government because every conflict becomes politicized. So something like BLM is liberals against conservatives. Something like the Tea Party is conservatives against liberals. And I think that in a lot of the cases, like whether it's BLM, whether it's, the Tea Party, whether it's anything else, a lot of the core causes, I think that a lot of people can kind of get behind. Like, for example, I think most of you guys agree that police accountability needs to be higher, and it's really bad that police unions protect bad actor police officers, and there needs to be more accountability for the police. So that's not really a crazy thing to think. I think most people think that, right? And the problem, is that it gets turned into a divisive issue for no reason. And I think the media is complicit in this. The media takes every single issue, and there's always a right-wing and a left-wing perspective to it, and the perspectives are always different. Let me ask you something. When was the last time that there was a United States issue that everybody in the country was united on? Like, obviously, the first one that comes to mind is September 11th, right? Everybody wanted to go over there and bomb Afghanistan.
Yeah.
What else besides that? I don't
Not
think
much.
Epstein is a good. I don't think Epstein is a good example, because
Really?
look at how fast so many Republicans turned into just not giving a shit about Epstein. It happened
True.
in like a day. I can't be the only
Instantly.
person that didn't that noticed this, right?
Right.
That it just happened
I seen
immediately.
that shit.
As soon as they started hearing that, oh, wait a minute, this is a Democrat talking point now. I can't like this anymore. I can't care about this anymore. Yeah, they dropped it so
Something
fast.
like that.
Exactly. Draw his clients. No, I'm telling you, like that's what's happened. And I think that's the big difference whenever I see protests in these other countries and I compare them with protests that happen here in America. It's a huge difference. That's not true? I think it is. I definitely think it's true.
Culture of corruption and impunity.
DW correspondent Idris Zaferi in Belgrade has more on these clashes.
Well, flares, tear gas, and crowd control vehicles were used from the police last night to spread the protesters. Everything started peacefully around 8 p.m. When the protesters gathered near the
Why aren't they putting it out?
Army headquarters, which was bombed during
Controlled
the
burn, I guess.
in 99. But
They
then,
should be putting it
a few
out.
hours later, we could see clashes, and the streets of capital of Serbia were blocked, and a lot of tensions and also physical violence was seen in the streets of Belgrade. Dozens of people were arrested. We don't have official numbers, figures, how many people were arrested and how many of
No,
them.
it's been a lot, obviously. Like, it's very clearly been a lot. I mean, obviously, a lot of people got arrested. I'll be right back. Give me a second. So, yeah, they probably arrested hundreds of people out of this. They're saying dozens because they don't want to make it sound like they're arresting everybody. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, they're arresting everybody out here.
It was one
Could
of
be
the
wrong, but that's what I'm
biggest
thinking.
clashes we could see these days and this period during the anti-government protests in Serbia.
Now, Serbians have been protesting for almost a year now, and the protests have been largely peaceful so far. Why did they turn violent now?
This is the biggest clash we have seen for.
That's a
all
really
this
good
time.
question.
Of course, there were other incidents in June.
I didn't realize it just kept going, too. That's what I'm kind of surprised by.
But 4 nights ago.
Is that what you want an arrest in the U.S., arrest the troublemakers? I think that if you're violating and, like, you're damaging property, yeah, for sure. But, like, a lot of these people are just protesting. Like, I mean, you're not talking about people that are, you know, like destroying property, looting stores, or doing anything else. Yeah, sure, I can understand them arresting people that are like hitting them or like something like that. Sure, of course they're going to do that. But like whenever you're shutting them down and like spraying them down with tear gas, burning a tree, no, they should arrest the person that burned the tree for sure. Of course. Yeah, duh. Of course. What do you mean?
Yeah, why not?
Were protesting in few cities in Serbia when supporters of leading government party, Progressive Party of Aleksandar Vučić, who is the president, they went in the streets and they clashed with protesters, attacking them, and then we could see that this is almost like a civil war in the streets, and
yeah, this does look pretty bad
among protesters, the students who lead this protest, but also the citizens who support them. And every night since then, it has been repeating.
This is crazy what's going on,
that,
though.
We can see now they have been repeating in different cities of Serbia. And
yeah, I think also social media helps people organize protests like this a lot more easily. And like you even see this in the US, right? Where like people have like apps and stuff to try to like find out where ICE raids are going to happen so they can interfere with the ICE raid or cause problems for the officers there. I think this is basically the same exact thing. And yeah, what happens is police give an order to disperse. If you don't, you're breaking the law. You can be arrested. Sure, I mean, I don't know what Serbia's laws are, etc. But like, I mean,
Right.
again, I think that
Yeah.
again, protesting against like the government that's like just straight up corrupt is very different than protesting against an election that didn't go the way you wanted it to. I think that's generally a very big difference. And it's like basically a lot of the protests here are people protesting against the law, and the protests in the other sides of the world, like Serbia, are people that are protesting in favor of the law. And I think that's the big fucking difference there. Is that in the US, you have people that are actively protesting because they want to keep illegal aliens and drug dealers in the country. And over there, they're protesting because there's people building fucking stuff that collapses and it kills people, and nobody gets in trouble for it. That's it.
Most likely going to continue like that.
Now, these protests are, of course, against the government of President Vucic.
Yeah,
What is he saying?
I bet they are. No accountability, yeah.
He gave an interview. Where he accused actually foreign forces. He said that it's very obvious that the center and motivation of this protest is not inside Serbia, but it's a foreign factor that is trying to destroy the future of Serbia. Of course, we could see that he said that
the show by protest today flipped them all off. Good job.
Students are demanding for
good job.
snap elections to
Let's go.
resolve this problem.
And you can see also, like, that's another good example, right? Is they're asking for an election. These people are demanding a democratic way of solving this problem. Whereas in the US, people are actively trying to deny the outcome of an election. And that's another huge difference there, too.
But he said that the elections will happen most probably before the time that is set up by law, but not when the protesters are demanding, and that police and state will show strength using every night more than 3,000 police officers to stop those who want to gain power with violence in the streets.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see
Power
if there's
with
any more
violence
of this over
in
here,
the
if there's any more
streets.
updates, because I haven't really heard anything about this at
Jeez.
all. Serbia protest. Serbia's blocked. This is June. This is back in June too. Holy shit! So this has been going on for like months now.
Damn, why isn't no
Because
one
of Marvel
talking
movies,
about
yeah.
this?
Your mod was there? Yeah, one of my mods was there at the protest at the beginning. You're right. Holy shit, man. They got everything blocked off? Yeah, I fucking bet. And there's a Labubu. Okay, great. And so, yeah, this is the one that I saw. I remember whenever I watched this whenever it happened. And this is the same one we saw before. That's how many people there were originally whenever this first happened, I believe. And so now I just didn't even realize that it's still going on to this day. I thought that they kind of just, you know, like with a lot of these kinds of things, I feel like they kind of burn out. But not this one.
Yeah, it seems like it's still going and going and going.
There's been so many protests and problems in the countries. Do you think it's been happening? So this is the reason why I think it's been happening, right? Is that social media gives people way more tools to organize and get together and share ideas and plan protests. So that makes it way easier. Then you also have, I think, a higher level of awareness to bad behavior. Because back whenever state media and like mainstream media was the only way that you could really get any information, the flow of information was very, very tightly controlled. And because of that, you had almost nobody bringing up stuff that was problematic. The news would probably report it in a way that was, you know, in one way or another kind of beneficial to them or beneficial to the government. And this is also something, apparently, this happened, I guess, a couple of days ago, and this is the new flashpoint for what's happened, and has obtained audio recordings of a United Group Telecom and Serge's CEOs discussing undermining N1, a Serbian TV channel that has documented anti-government protests. In recorded conversation, the Telecom Serge's CEO alleged that Serbian President Alexander Vucic, I don't know how to say his name, personally spoke about the dismissal of this person who heads the company that owns it. So there's...
Damn. Well, shit, guys. I'm gonna go get my Game Pass working, and I'll probably catch you either later tonight or tomorrow, guys. So don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, check out Asmongold and PowerXL Official here for more content. And I will see y'all later. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.